everyone. So I haven't done a video in a while, and tonight I wanted to do a recipe video showing you guys how to make the Screaming Souls pizza. So if you stay all the way to the end, or fast forward I guess to the end, I am going to give you the option of a consumption spell inclusion. So you know I love edible magic. Our body is a living altar made of carbon and hydrogen, so it is astrophysical magic. I will give you that compound recipe that is an option to use at the end, and I will explain that to you. But if you just love spooky season, or if you have Maven or Samhain gatherings, this is a great recipe just to have fun with, to impress your guests, and just to kind of showcase your talents as a kitchen witch. So I love fall. I think fall is a beautiful time of year for spiritual evolution. You have Maven followed by Samhain. These are, you know, the spirit worker side of me, the root worker divinator, loves this time of year because of the high ritual and the high ceremonial magic that we perform. The spooky human spirit side of me just loves everything Halloween. You know, I like going to haunted attractions, events, especially food events. I love baking Halloween. And so for decades, that was my thing. I did a huge yard display. I did huge food displays at our annual gatherings. And I'll actually show you some pictures here, but I retired from that last year. I live in a high rise now on the 21st floor, so I can't do that anymore. I do a few little things here and there, but my focus really is going to be on the baking and cooking and the food presentation. So if you are somebody like me who entertains this time of year, I think this is a very fun way to just kind of bring people together. Okay, so there are some items you're going to need here. You're going to need some silicone molds. I like my Screaming Souls to have the little scream face guy, but I have a variety here. I have like Michael and Jason, and I have some skulls that I'm using. But this is the most intensive part of making the pizza, is making the sausage. So I'm going to put the recipe exactly up on screen for what you need for this step. So I know sometimes I go fast through these stages, so I'm just kind of recording here so you have time to do a screenshot of the recipe for the Screaming Soul sausages that we're doing first. All right, guys, so we have everything for our little Screaming Souls in the bowl according to the recipe, and you can play with this recipe, of course. There are other options too. Like, I also like these seasonings if you don't want to use the other ones I posted. But anyways, the point is, now it is stir time. Now, while you were mixing, you should have been preheating your oven to 350 degrees. Sorry if I skipped that part. Again, at the end, I will give you the option of adding in a compound spell here. Right now, I'm showing it without any added consumption spell work. All right, so pretty basic. We filled our molds. Make sure you clean up. There's not a whole lot of overlay there so that they're easier to get out. But this is step one. Fun fact, if you're doing a pasta dish, especially a Halloween pasta dish with, like, you know, bat-shaped pasta or squid ink pasta, which is black, these would be cool little meatballs, FYI. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes. They baked for 10 minutes at 350. We're going to let them cool for a second. Now, the second part of this, I'm going to put the ingredients on screen, but it's basically your crust, your sauce, your mozzarella. I like using Hormel pepperoni, but I dice mine up real good. And if you're going to do that, make sure you wipe your scissors down right away because it is so oily. Okay, as our oven is preheating now to 450, we are going to spread our sauce, sprinkle our cheese, sprinkle our pepperoni, and we're going to make little blood spots for our little scary sausages. Okay, so easy breezy, right? All right, so now the next step, I am going to make some areas that I'm going to put my sausages by putting just a little bit of sauce as the little bed, and do that for as many sausages as you're going to lay. I know it's kind of hard to find the details when I'm doing like this with an iPhone, but it's very cool. Once your oven is preheated to 450, we're going to put this in the oven. Okay, so I am putting the recipe on screen for the consumption spell edition. This particular rootwork consumption spell is for prosperity and abundance, but it's also for humility and humbling. And let me tell you why that's important. This time of the year, humbling work is attached to gratitude work. It's getting our ego out of the driver's seat and into the back seat where it belongs. We live in a society that's very self-oriented, so it is good to bring in humility once in a while to remind us of all the things we have to be grateful for and how it's important for us to all be selfless. Now, if you do decide to add this, you're serving it. It's a great addition. There's no harm, no foul with this type of compound recipe. You can use, in previous videos when I've showed you how to make the loaded breads or the loaded heart organs, I did show you how to use rice paper sigils or name papers, as well as wafer paper or icing paper. If you do want to use activation sigils or symbols or name papers for this specifically, if you're serving somebody specifically for prosperity or for humility, I would suggest only using rice paper. I would use rice paper for that, and then I would burn that and then mix the ash into the meatballs, the meatball mix, or the sausage mix, whatever you want to call it. Otherwise, if you use icing or wafer paper, there's going to be a little bit of that sweetness, and there's going to be maybe a little texture from wafer paper. So use rice paper, burn it down, mix in the ash if you're using activation sigils. But you have the compound recipe right there. It's a beautiful recipe. It works very, very, very well this time of year. Of course, if you have any questions, you can email me directly or leave me a message, and stay magical. So humility work is a energetic pathway to change, so don't let the term confuse you. And I also wanted to point out that it's very important to use organic herbs and roots in consumption spell work. So make sure you're sourcing them from good, reliable sources. I like Mountain Rose Herbs, iHerbs, Lucky Mojo. There's lots of ways to get organic herbs that are food safe or food grade. So just kind of an FYI there.